Well, hello everyone. Welcome to this YouTube video. Well, I'm not actually a professional YouTuber, so pardon me if there are any kind of obvious lapses in this video because this is just a start, and I intend to refine my presentations in the future. But this video is actually about the bare fundamentals of UPSC or state civil service preparation. So in this video, we are not going to go into the details of the strategies, how to choose a strategy, or say how to choose a book list, or how which coaching to attend, and all those things. We are not going to go get into all those details. We are just going to focus on how you can actually choose a particular strategy. How there are hundreds and thousands of strategies and book lists and timetables and everything out there, but you have to be very cautious right at the outset of your preparation regarding the strategy that you stick to. So let's get into the video. But before that, I'd like to give you a brief introduction about myself. So I'm Debotosh Chatterjee. I completed my bachelor in chemical engineering from Jadavpur University in 2015, and later on the same year I cleared UPSC CSE in my first attempt with All India rank of 406, and I was allotted Indian Revenue Service Customs and Indirect Taxes. The following year, I attempted again, but my rank did not improve. So I continued in the same service, and right now it's been 4 years since I joined the service, and presently I'm heading a regional unit of Directorate of Revenue Intelligence, and I've also worked in GST formations in anti-evasion and vigilance sections. So this is just a brief introduction. Now let's get into the business end of the video. Okay, so the very first thing that I would like to give you a disclaimer about is that before choosing books, before choosing coaching, before choosing any kind of test series, any kind of strategy, any kind of guide, before doing anything, the first thing that you have to do is check how much time you have at your disposal for the exam. That decides everything. People have cleared this exam with 6 months of preparation. People have cleared this with 1 year of preparation. People have cleared this with 2 years of preparation. And there are people who have not cleared it with even 6 years of preparation. Now, this is why UPSC preparation should always be considered with time as the basic unit. So, before you start, you need to know how much time you have. Do you have 6 months for prelims? Do you have 3 months for prelims? Or do you have no time for prelims and it's just on the next day? Right? So, basing on the time, that is how you have to start. You need to know. So, for example, if you have 6 months, you have to have a different kind of strategy than when you have 1 year in hand for prelims, because that gives you a lot of scope to experiment with your book lists and tests and all that. But you but which strategy you choose, how you make it specific for yourself, that is decided by the time at your disposal. So if you are a final year student and you want to take your first attempt right out of college like I did, you cannot afford to think like a 30-year-old aspirant who has appeared multiple times, maybe his fourth or fifth attempt. So you have to think like one who has just 6 months in his hand, and one who is attempting for the very first time, right? So you have to get into that mindset, and you should look to take advice only from people who have cleared with that mindset. So if you're appearing for your first attempt, you should ideally look for people who have cleared in your first attempt, who have cleared in their first attempt, and with minimum time of preparation. You should try and avoid taking advice from those who have cleared maybe in the fifth or sixth attempts, because that might give you the idea that one attempt is not enough, maybe you need five or six attempts. So even though people who clear it in their fourth, fifth, sixth attempts, they are by no means lesser and lesser in their genius or anything. But for you, for someone who is going to appear for the first attempt, their ideal guide should be someone who has done the same. That is very important because that creates the right mindset for you. So choose your guide according to the time that you have at your disposal. This is the first and perhaps the most important thing that you have to keep in mind while choosing a strategy. Second thing is, see, when I appeared in my first attempt in 2015, so I had begun preparation in 2014, end of 2014. So at that time, you barely had a few YouTube videos on UPSC syllabus preparation, whatever. But today there is an explosion. You have so much online content. Every other day you can see a new YouTube channel coming up with current affairs analysis, PDFs, free PDFs on editorials, uh, all sorts of analysis are coming up in YouTube, in Telegram, in Quora. Wherever you look, there is a plethora of resources available at your disposal. The problem, this is actually a problem of plenty. Earlier we used to have a problem. We used to have a deficiency that online resources were not available. But now it's a problem of plenty. So you have to be very careful about who who your exact guide is. This is actually a continuation of the previous point, how to choose a guide. So you will find all kinds of people giving you all kinds of advice on all kinds of platforms: Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, take anything, Telegram. So there are like thousands and thousands of so-called guides and strategies. Now the sad part is that they are not actually all fit for the role of that guide. Most of them, they are just out there to make a few quick bucks from YouTube, from Telegram, just getting a few subscriptions here and there, working like a middleman for certain coaching institute. So you have to be very careful with these kind of people. And before committing any kind of time or energy or money to any coaching institute, any kind of online trainer or whatever, before committing time, energy, and money to these things, you should think long and hard and do very, very deep analysis of who you are committing to. Be very careful. Do not waste your time in every random YouTube channel or every random PDF that you come across. So that is very important. And I'll come to this point later on also, but this is just a disclaimer that I wanted to put out right at the outset. Now, the third thing is that you are the captain of your ship. See, when people uh, get into the toppers list, they appear to be real geniuses, like they are born to clear this exam, as if you know they have not seen failure or anything like that. But that is not true. Actually, the people who clear, they clear because they believe in their abilities right till the very end. The problem with people who don't clear or who are missing out by small margins every now and then is that they let their anxieties get the better of them. They do not let their confidence bloom when it counts. So they suffer from severe lack of confidence. They cannot. They are always looking out for some kind of a magic trick, some kind of a coaching institute that is dishing out some kind of a magic wand ki jadoo ki chhadi type of thing, which you can just shoot and you'll be in the list. So people are always looking out for those kinds of shortcuts because they are not confident about their own abilities. Now that is where you have to stand firm and believe that you can actually, every normal human beings, this is not rocket science. You do not have to go out into space and survive a space battle or something. This is an exam and you have to just take it like an exam and do it professionally. That's it. Now, the fourth point, which is perhaps a very important point, because there are tons and tons of YouTube videos on this regarding how much study you have to do in a day or in a week or in a month. So there are people who say they study for 12 hours, 14 hours, 20 hours. Uh, that is a very very long-standing tradition. If you have to appear for UPSC or for any state civil service, you have to burn the midnight oil, and you have to appear like a fakir who has sacrificed everything. So these kind of appearances are given, and people take them very seriously. So if an aspirant is leading a normal life, watching a few movies, having his you know, food of choice, and he's just leading a normal life during preparation, he starts feeling shaky, as if something is going wrong, as if he's not getting the recognition for UPSC preparation. Now, the point is, all this is just complete garbage. It's absolute garbage. This whole image of a fakir sacrificing your desires and your youth for UPSC and all, this is all absolute garbage, and I don't agree one bit with all of these. Now, the reason is that uh, you know you are preparing for UPSC out of your own choice. That's the foundation that your preparation is built on. It's your free will, it's your choice. It is not dictated by anyone. So your how you use your time, how you prepare, that is completely up to you. Nobody else should have the authority to dictate terms to you. That is what most people don't understand, and they fall into that herd mentality when they don't get approval or validation for their preparation from the outside world. They come to internet and they start expressing their anxieties. They feel that as if the preparation is going haywire. That is not true. If you see the toppers list of UPSC 2019, you will see that there are so many working professionals who have cleared the exam. Now, what does that indicate? It indicates that these 14 hours, 20-hour rituals, these fakir images, these are all garbage. These There might have been an element of truth to these things, maybe 20 years ago, when the the texture of the UPSC exam and the civil services exam of most of the states, they were mostly based on rote learning. But in the present day, these exams are not like that. So you can clear with just 5-6 hours of dedicated study every day for a period of 8-10 months. Now, honestly, I just prepared 7 to 8 months for prelims. Even less than that, because I lost a couple of months to my college exams. So just that much for prelims and 3 months for mains. So that was it. I cleared in my first attempt. And there are many such people who do it. It's only because they don't fall prey to the herd mentality. They believe in their own strategy and they get it done. That's it. That's the prime mantra of success. Now, the last thing here is that we Indians are very fond of emotions. Emotions run very high in us in certain things like cricket, like politics, and UPC is also one of those things where people tend to become more emotional and less professional. Now, that is where I want people to understand that it's you have to be a pro, you have to be a professional who who takes certain amount of input and gives a certain amount of output. That's it. You have to forget about the rest of the world. You have taken the decision to appear for this exam. You prepare, you give your best, and forget about it. That's it. You do not need to be emotional about it. Losing your youth, sacrificing your life, and this and that. This is all just part of that narrative created by the herd mentality. This is absolutely unnecessary, and you do not need to be a part of it. You just have to be a professional. You take your own decisions. But if you are financially well off, fine, go for a coaching. If you want to, if you are financially not well off, you do not need to go to a coaching. I never attended any kind of classroom coaching. I studied at my home. My home. I am from a very small town, Durgapur, that is West Bengal. Most of you would not have heard of it, right? That's a very small town, and the only way I prepared was using the internet, nothing else. I could do that because I always believed in my own abilities and my own strategy. I believe that whatever has to be done this way. That's it. If I have access to something and I feel that I should go for it, then I'll go for it. That's it. If I have a coaching institute near my house and I feel like I should go, okay, fine. If I have the financial power, I'll go for it. If not, I'll not even think about it. Because there are hundreds and hundreds of people clearing without any kinds of coaching. So that is that is something that you have to keep in mind, that you should control your emotions and be a hardcore professional when it comes to UPSC. Now this is another thing that is unique to India. We are you know we have our own heroes in all fields, in so many fields. We are fond of hero worshipping. We Whenever someone does something exceptional, we make him a god or something like that. So what in UPSC also, this thing is very common. So when you these toppers, when you see their videos, when you see their interviews, you start copying them. That is the that is actually the silliest mistake that you can do in the course of your preparation. You cannot be a topper if you are copying somebody. That's absolutely not possible, because simply because every person is unique. If I need 1 hour to understand something, somebody else may need 30 minutes, while another person may need 2 hours. It's completely up to that specific person, the level of his IQ, his emotional intelligence, and a host of other factors, how he has been brought up, which school he has gone to, what is his level of his comprehension skills. All these things come into the picture. So you need to have your own specific style. That perhaps is the only thing that will be standing with you till the very end. Your own strategy, and if you follow it till the very end, then perhaps you can become a topper, and then people will start imitating you. And again, you can give them the same advice, that please don't copy, right? Then a peripheral advice is, you should not publicize your preparation too much. I think this is, I mean, there are many people who may not agree to it, but this is my strong opinion, that you should keep it as much to yourself as possible. I mean, family, you have to disclose it to them, but the more you disclose your secrets to other people, the more pressure you are unknowingly bringing on yourself. That is the truth of life. So the moment you start publicizing your preparation, you will have, every other day there will be five people asking you about, how much syllabus has been covered, or when is the exam. And when the exam is over, they start asking about the cutoff, and then they start asking about the results. And then one fine day you will find that, the people are more bothered about your exam than you yourself. So that is the worst kind of pressure that you can put on yourself. So take it from me, you should keep it uh, as lean and simple as possible, and not involve too many people in your life. And I think the seasoned campaigners of UPSC, people who have faced this UPSC cycle number of times, they will know that, friends, relatives, and even siblings at times can be very nagging, and the only way to deal with them is to keep them out of your life for the time being. You have to be absolutely, maintain a tight ship. Just you and your preparation, and just a few trusted people with you. That's it. And lastly, as I have already pointed out before, you should have your own motivation. Do not look to the outside world to motivate you. That is a very short term uh, way to stay motivated. That just increases your energy levels for a short period of time, maybe a day or two, but then that external motivation factor, when that's gone, you are back to normal. So you need to have your own motivation. You need to know why you are preparing. You need to know uh, how you're going to get there, and you need to trust your own abilities. That's it. You should not be you should not be bogged down by uh, pressure of the external world. I think this UPSC preparation is perhaps one of those avenues where you can consciously develop a very strong individuality. This exam gives you that scope. You can be an individual, because in most of the other exams you will find people doing the same kind of things, doing the same uh, uh, having the same kinds of opinions. But here in UPSC you can you know you can have your own individual style of preparation. Uh, you can be someone out of the herd. That is the main point. You need not be part of a group at all times. You can have your own mind, you can have your own style, you can have your own motivation. Everything can be your own, right? So please use that opportunity to the best. And I guess I'll be coming up with a second part of this video too. I think if you can like, share, and subscribe this video, then I'd be encouraged to bring more such videos to you. And depending on the response and depending on the comments that you put for this video, maybe you can suggest a few headings for the next videos, right? Depending on that, I'll pick up the suggestions and move further ahead. Thank you for your participation. Thank you.